What's going on, guys? Meteorologist Jonathan Kegges back with you live on a Friday night. Welcome to News 6 Weather Live at 9:30. We're here every Monday through Friday at 9:30 to talk about what's going on across the state of Florida weather-wise and in hurricane season across the tropics. We're coming at you live on News 6 Plus and on the News 6 Click Orlando YouTube stream. Thank you a ton for taking some time out on a Friday night as you get ready to start the weekend. I am here to calm anxiety when it comes to the tropics and talk about higher rain chances for Florida as we move into the weekend. So let's get to it. Here are the big three that we're talking about. Higher rain chances coming for the weekend. I think tomorrow we're going to get back into a more typical pattern for Florida. So we're going to see the sea breezes collide. I think we could have the opportunity for widespread stuff. We have some fresh model data coming in now. I'm going to have that for you on the news side of things at 11 o'clock on News 6 Plus. And if you traditionally watch TV on the television, we'll have that at News 6 at 11, CBS affiliate out of the greater Central Florida area. So tune in for that to help plan your afternoon and evening tomorrow. And then Invest 91L. The L I'm calling stands for loss because holy cow, we talked about this last night and for the last couple of days that it is way, way too early. And before we get into the Florida stuff, I want to show you kind of the quote unquote breaking news. Our red has turned to orange. The development chances have been dropping steadily throughout the day. Yesterday at this time, the Hurricane Center designated this with the 90% shot for development. Now it's down to 60. So I don't know if there has been a better example over the last several years since social media really has run rampant with all this stuff than what's going on right now. I mean, we were talking about people posting stuff that we were going to hit with a hurricane in 2 weeks. And now there's questions if this thing is even going to become a depression. Love that. Love that. So we're going to talk more on 91L coming up, but I just wanted to say that there. So some very, very good news on the tropical front. Now, when it comes to our weather locally, we're going to get back into a very unsettled pattern. First and foremost, we have this surface trough, as we call it, kind of different directional winds. That's going to help to keep some storms around, especially in South Florida tomorrow. And I think with the heating of the day tomorrow, we get back into our typical sea breeze pattern. I'll show you the high resolution future radar in just 1 second. The one thing that's going to make us unsettled next week, so you're going to see if you have the News 6 weather app, rain chances getting pretty high. Really, once we get into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they're going to be much higher again tomorrow. There is the cold front. Now, we don't get completely, most of Florida doesn't get this, but if I have anybody happen to be tuning in from the Panhandle right now? I'd love to know if you're here because I've got a special treat for you if you like fall. But that front's going to change a lot of things coming into the weekend. So speaking of the weekend or the other side of the weekend, here are the scattered thunderstorm chances for the rest of Friday into Saturday morning. You see there could be some overnight downpours from Cape Coral to Sarasota, pushing in off the Gulf. Some really bumpy stuff. If you happen to be leaving on some of the cruise ships that we showed you at 6 o'clock in the evening, we caught those live at Port Canaveral, or 4 o'clock in the evening. Bumpy ride for them. There's going to be some thunderstorms on the way to the Bahamas if they were going in that direction. There's 11 o'clock in the morning. I think most of us are dry other than a stray downpour on the coast. And then we start to fire things up. And then this is where we really get the thunderstorms going right through Central Florida from about Lake Okeechobee back up to Lake George to Gainesville. The sea breeze will be colliding, and it looks like we could have one of our traditional big thunderstorm events. Your run-of-the-mill sea breeze stuff looks a little rowdy at times, but you see all the thunderstorms right down the spine of the Florida Peninsula. So it's pretty wild out there. Tomorrow night, it could be UCF fans. The game tomorrow is in the evening, so depending upon if the East Coast sea breeze pushes further to the west, that's going to be a good thing. But if it kind of looks like that exactly, we're going to have some issues with some lightning delay potential tomorrow for the UCF game. You see, we could have some storms even linger late tomorrow. It's been a while since we had one of those really, really eye-popping, just wild nights with a sea breeze collision. Again, likely nothing damaging, but just you know what I'm talking about. The afternoon thunderstorms that look a little rowdy out there. Highs tomorrow in Pensacola at 91. All the orange boxes represent temperatures above normal. We're at 92 in Orlando. We're at 90 in Vero Beach. And because we have that stalled boundary down in South Florida, we're going to be a little bit below average in terms of the temperature. We're in the upper 80s in Naples and in Miami over the weekend. So a little cooler, but it's still going to be muggy. So it's not going to be a refreshing 87 degrees. All right, so here is the front. We're taking this out through Sunday, and you see the darker colors. Really, when you have the darker greens and the yellows around, that is where we have some of the heavier rainfall potential, relatively speaking. There comes the cold front. Now you see it goes from the blue jagged gator tooth-like things to now we have the triangle and the semicircle. That's what we call a stationary front. So that cold front comes down and it just parks itself here. It too is going on vacation, a post-Labor Day weekend vacation for this front. And it's going to stall there, and we're going to have rain working its way up and down the front. So that's going to act as a pathway to send the moisture in. And we stay juiced through Tuesday, and we stay juiced through Wednesday. Okay, you ready for this? Oh, Kimberly, I didn't realize you were from the Panhandle. She said it's been very clear and dry in Destin. That's awesome. Okay, watch this. This is going to be for you. Okay, so this is the dew point Friday night. Now, the dew point, a lot of times there's a misconception on the relative the relative humidity is high. The relative humidity is always high, even in the winter. That's whenever the temperature is close to the dew point. The number that is the most important for your comfort, aside from the actual air temperature, is this number right here. In the middle of the summer, we typically have dew point temperatures in the mid to even upper 70s. That is that soupy, juicy air you can wear. Once we get to around 60, it feels pretty good, although northerners would consider that humid. I think the perfect dew point are probably in the 40s and 50s. You don't want to get it too low because then it's going to be really, really dry and then you need chapstick and stuff like that. So I would say like maybe 40s and 50s, at least my opinion, are the perfect for comfort. I say all of that to say, don't worry, Melissa. I know you have a question in there. I'm gonna go back and find it during the break. Watch this. Watch this. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So pretty much from like Apalachicola to Port St. Joe to Destin to Pensacola. Okay, gotcha. I see. Gotcha, Kimberly. My bad. It's gonna feel great in the Panhandle. If you want to feel a little taste of fall, I mean, that's actually a big taste of fall. Drive up to the Panhandle. This is for Monday at 9 o'clock in the morning. So late Sunday, Monday, that front means business, guys, and it is going to feel good. I mean, the rest of the Florida Peninsula misses out on it, unfortunately. We might feel a little bit better down to Orlando. We'll shift the wind a little bit. Maybe some drier air coming through, but maybe not window opening just yet. In Destin, Pensacola, it's going to feel unbelievable. Alrighty, guys, I have to hit my first break. When we come back, we're talking all about this. And I can't have any better. I mean, if it would completely zap away, it'd be better news. But the best news is that we are watching the development chances decrease right before our eyes. We'll go over the models in just 3 minutes. Alrighty, guys, what's going on? Meteorologist Jonathan Kegges. Almost forgot my name. I was reading a bunch of things at once, and it almost came out. I don't even know what I was going to say. Kimberly does agree that the perfect dew points in the 30s and 40s. Okay, Melissa, is the site actually called? Is it actually called the hurricane site? I'm trying to find it. Um, if you know the exact name of it, I'll take a look. But if they were posting about a hurricane coming to Florida, yeah, I definitely cut ties for sure. I would, no question about it. Um, I mean, I mean, here's the thing. There's it's a two-sided thing. It's one thing to forecast something and be wrong. Okay, I've forecast many things in my life and have been wrong about the forecast. Okay, like I'm human. I will admit that. But the issue is whenever you forecast something that's not forecastable. And people were posting those models, whether they're a meteorologist or just a weather enthusiast. If you're posting a single run nearly 14 days into the future, it's irresponsible. It is. And I think all your credibility is gone. That's just, there's a point to make the call. And believe me, I'll make it. But that was not the time, especially with so many things working against that storm, as we talked about yesterday. Elizabeth says, what do you suggest people from Orlando keep their AC temperatures at, even though it is hot day and night? It's the age-old debate. So help Elizabeth out, guys. Post in the comments. What do you guys keep your AC at? There are two arguments. The one argument is, okay, save some energy during the day, crank that up into the upper 70s or lower 80s. But then when you try to bring it back down to the temperature that you want when you get home or go to bed, then your AC is really, really working. And then you're using a lot of energy there and stressing the system. I kind of keep it uniform all day and all night. It runs a lot, but it runs a lot anyway. And I don't have it all that cold. I mean, I'm maybe crazy. I have mine set at 78 and then I drop it to 77 or 76. This is way too expensive. Then we have the ceiling fan on in the room. But that's what that's what I do. I don't know what anybody else does. So if you could post that in the comments, would love to get your thoughts on that too. Hopefully it's not too much longer. I mean, on average, it's the middle of October. We can maybe open up the windows every now and then and let some of the refreshing air. Melissa, and this is what gets me, and this is why I'm so passionate and fiery about it, because I hate that. I hate whenever people try to scare people on things. Um, if it scared you, 100%, get rid of them. Get rid of them. That's what I say. Don't even don't play anymore. Whoops, I'm hitting all these kind of buttons. See him getting all worked up tonight. All right, so that is Invest 9691L. Now I'm just throwing out numbers. Development chances down to 30% over 2 days, 60% over to 7 days. We lost our red bubble, and it is now an orange bubble. You might think that this is it. Got some better thunderstorms behind it, but it's this. That's it, guys. That's 91L. It had kind of an elongated circulation today. Not a lot of thunderstorms around it. So therefore, it's a no-go. And I showed you this last night. I'll give you another closer look at the satellite picture. This is the satellite of it right here. I mean, I don't even know. It doesn't look good, right? And I mean, that's a great thing. Now, I mean, we talked about last night if it stayed weak, it'd go further west. Okay, but I mean, it might really stay weak, like even into the islands weak. Um, and this is why. I think I showed you the water vapor imagery last night, and I showed you all of that dry air that it had to go through. I know at least showed it on the newscast last night. But here it is. And I mean, one of the ingredients tropical systems need is moisture in the mid levels of the atmosphere. Well, the water vapor imagery tells that story, and it shows us that we do not have moisture in the mid levels. So there's one thing going against it. Excuse me. And then once it gets out into here, it's going to encounter some wind shear. So I overlaid our tropical index, and what this tropical index does, it takes all of the meteorological ingredients. We're like making a cake here. Okay, this is like a hurricane cake, not like the one at Publix, but the red and peach color represents a pretty favorable environment for development. The green and the yellow represent a not so favorable area of development. So the computer model is overlaid with that. You see the lines here, and it goes. It's over the red a little bit. I think the model is a little bullish on the environment, to be honest with you. But there it is. What I wanted to show you as it gets close to the islands. Look at all of that green and yellow that it goes through. There's a trough there, a dip, a little dip, stronger winds in the upper levels. That once it gets close to the Northeast Caribbean, will start to shear it up a little bit. Okay, so there's a couple of things working against it. And not to mention, if it got in this area, there's a lot of land interaction. So another thing working against it. Always, always, always be careful. And again, I think I was even more upset this week on this go around because there are actual meteorologists doing it too. And I don't know if it's to compete with the weather enthusiasts that are doing it. I don't know. But it's not good. It's not good. Alrighty, guys, I have to hit my second break. Do me a favor. Post in the comments where you're tuning in from if you have any questions on anything, whether related to the tropics, the weekend, next week. Post those in the comment section on YouTube. If you're watching on News 6 Plus, you can also dial this up on the News 6 YouTube page. A lot of people do that from what I'm told. And they can just post in the comments there, and then I can pull your comment over. I can also do that if you are watching this on clickorlando.com. There's an interactive chat box in there that I can bring your comment over as well. Alrighty, guys, I'll see you in 3 minutes. Post some stuff. Appreciate you tuning in on a Friday night. Alrighty, guys, welcome back. During the break, we had our first troll in a couple of weeks. Eden Rama, with a bunch of A's in there. He got put in timeout, so he will not be joining us because put him in a 5-minute timeout, and there's 4 minutes left of the show. So thank you, guys. The troll is there. Okay, so let's get CW Stidham. How is it looking for a barbecue on Sunday? Well, let's pull that bad boy over, and I'll show you. This is going to be the high-resolution future radar. It's not gospel. It's just guidance, but it looks like we'll pop some storms into the early afternoon, and then along into the east of I-4 is going to be the best shot. Now, coming up at 10. Oh, wait. Holy cow. Do we have another troll? Let's see. Let's see here. Next week. Speaking of a human being, I don't know if that is a human being, but we got 2 tonight. We have 2, a second timeout. Gosh, I love doing storm live streams whenever we put people in timeout. I do like it. Don't mess with that stuff. Okay. He gone. But there you go with that. Jody had a question about the electric bill. It's just because you're using so much more energy to stay cool. That AC is running a lot where you typically don't have it as much in the wintertime. So you are using that a lot to try to stay cool. So it's mainly about keeping cool. You're just using so much extra energy to do that. It's terrible. It's awful. It's so expensive. Yeah, I think you're right, Kimberly. It's got to be a bot. Because he said, it's funny because he's like, you blocked. Yeah, sorry, Paul. We do have a newscast at 10 o'clock if you're interested in that. If you're in the Central Florida area, I think, wait, are you on? You might be on the Gulf Coast or closer to the Gulf Coast. I can't remember. But yeah, we have the newscast at 10, but I think you're outside of the Central Florida, greater Central Florida area, like Orlando area. I know. Yep, but yeah, we started our 10 o'clock news, so then I got moved down a half hour earlier. Another troll before the show. Unbelievable. I mean, I guess that means the show's getting out to more people, which I obviously like, but that stuff is not going to be tolerated. For sure. Well, hey, guys, I know most of you are not trolls, and I appreciate your time. It's always fun hanging out with you guys. Monday through Friday, every single night during the week at 9:30. Again, we just shoot the breeze about the weather. Of course, I'm going to give you how it's going to impact you, and we're going to have that weather conversation about the weather. That's the Department of Redundancy department right there. Conversation about the weather. I've had my coffee tonight, but there is so much going on in my brain from dealing with all this nonsense with Invest 91L. I hope you have a great weekend. Again, we're going to be doing a lot of dodging when it comes to the storms this week. I'll keep an eye on Invest 91L. I'm not jazzed about it. Really haven't been. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Have a great weekend. Be safe.